Welcome to the Liberating Joy and Learning podcast. I'm Brina Beckstrand, and today we're continuing our discussion of how Chase Jarvis's book, Never Play It Safe, helps us understand learning liberating principles. Last time we covered the levers of intuition and play. Today we're discussing his lever of failure. This one helps us better understand the primary lens, owning our failures and successes. And really, his whole chapter on this lever has a lot of great information to help us understand that primary lens. But here are a few points that we found particularly helpful. I love Chase Jarvis's perspective on the role failure plays in our society. He explains, effortless brilliance has become the latest epidemic of false promises. It's no wonder failures show up in our psyches as personal flaws rather than opportunities for growth. Our misunderstandings about failure seem to be at an all-time high and rising.
How does the myth of effortless brilliance affect our ability to own our own failures and successes?
Okay, so we had a hard time with effortless. That's it. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, you said
It's making me laugh today. I don't know why. Okay, so I struggle with this because I only seen one answer. I'm just seeing, if we believe in this myth, we're going to give up or we're not going to try very much.
So I do have a question. Effortless brilliance. What does that mean, first of all? Because as we've been reading this, I kind of get an idea of what it means. But I want to hear what your thought is, first of all. But what is effortless brilliance? Does that mean that being brilliant is easy, or that we have this mistaken thought that you shouldn't ever make a mistake? Is that what he's leaning?
I think the focus is that we're just brilliant without much. We're just brilliant. Without a process.
That we don't make mistakes, and if you make mistakes, you're wrong.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining that phrase to mean.
Right.
And I agree with it that it's a myth, it's a fallacy.
Yeah, it's not a reality for anyone.
No.
It just doesn't exist at all.
Right.
And if you believe in that, you're not going to try at anything because the reality is you have to work at something.
Right.
Even a painting is just a stop in a long path.
Right.
We see it as kind of a static thing, but it's not. It's the part of a process to get there. And we just don't.
Right. And there are mistakes on the way it goes back to one of our daughters when she was doing her paint by numbers thing, and our youngest came along with a black marker, and marked it all up, trying to help her. She's like 3 or 4 at the time.
Twice.
But she was able to take that failure. And you can't tell now.
No, it's hanging on our wall now. You can't tell.
Yeah, you can't tell that it was not what it was intended to be.
Right.
And so that's where I think I agree that it's a myth, that learning takes time, brilliance takes time, and it takes failure. And that's fine. That's okay.
And if you believe in that myth, then you're not going to try at anything.
Right.
Or you're going to be very selective, right?
Right.
I can only be a concert pianist. I can't have a garden. I can't cook well. I can't do any of these other things. You're going to focus on just one thing in life, and that's really not fun.
Right, and close yourself off to any other new opportunities.
Right. Okay, so how does seeing failures as personal flaws rather than opportunities for growth affect our ability to own them?
I think we're hitting on it. If you think you're going to fail, and you think that is wrong, you're not going to grow. You're not going to progress. You're not going to take risks. You're not going to do anything that will make you feel better, that will improve your life.
Right. You're going to avoid it, first of all.
Right.
And if you even attack it at all, you're not going to be able to see it clearly enough to make the appropriate plans to overcome them.
Right. Exactly. On the same page, Jarvis also explains that it's important to feel failure, even though it's absolutely awful. And I agree. Nobody likes to fail.
Right.
But it's very important that we feel that and understand that. And later he explains that feeling this allows us to be emotionally invested to make an effort to overcome failures. So how does allowing ourselves to feel failure help us own them?
Well, I mentioned this just a second ago. We have to be able to feel them in order to understand them.
Right.
And it's it's awful, and you just have to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to be miserable for just a minute while I figure this out, while I get as much as understanding as I can out of it, and then move on.
Right. Why did I fail? What steps led me to that? Whether it's I fell flat on my face while trying to ride a bike, or you failed taking a test, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, it's awful when it happens and you feel like crap, but it's important that we understand that that's not the end. What led us to that? What can I change so that I can get past that and I can grow?
Right. And what was it about this time? Because
Right.
there's a lot of reasons about failure. And when you understanding learning and growth, you understand that what led to it this time is a little bit different
Right.
than last time.
Right.
So you want to approach it in a very personalized, time
Right.
specific way. And if we shut ourselves off, we shut ourselves off from a whole huge nuance of
Right.
understanding, and not just one answer. Right?
Right.
It's not a simple answer quite often.
Right.
It's it's
Right.
okay, I had a bad day at work because right before that.
Right.
So I need to plan for that. Or maybe it's, you're stressed about finances another time. So that's
Right.
another reason that would lead to that failure. And you need to
Right.
recognize the different causes of those
Right.
things.
Other benefits of failure that Jarvis describes include nothing clarifies like failure. Next, failure builds resilience and it shows us what we're really capable of. And lastly, failure is a prerequisite for freedom. That adversity is a prerequisite to growth. That creativity is a prerequisite for building a life you love. So which one of these speaks to you as being most helpful to understanding the primary lens of owning our failures and successes?
Well, I picked them, so obviously I like them all. But I particularly I'm right now, the last one is speaking to me.
Right.
That creativity or a failure is a prerequisite for creativity. We have to feel that really uncomfortable feeling in order to open ourselves up to
Right.
new things.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, I think it's a general aspect of life that you have to understand that you're not perfect, and that's okay. I mean, it's those, Saturday Night Live self-affirmations or whatever. But it's okay. But it does have a bit of truth. Failure is part of life. If we didn't fail, we would never learn how to walk.
Yeah.
You look at babies when they're trying to walk, they get up and they fall on their butts, they fall on their face, whatever, and they get right back up and they keep working and working and working, and that's part of life
Until they make that new reality.
right. And
real
then
for them.
but it doesn't stop there. Once they've achieved that, like, okay, now I want to run, and so they start running, they trip and they fall and skin their knee, and like, okay, well, I need to figure out what I did wrong, not trip on my feet, and now I can run.
Right.
It's a continual process of learn, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's a part of life, and yes, it sucks at times, but it's the benefits are so much greater than the failures.
Right. Was there another one of those quotes that spoke to you?
I like the prerequisite that failure is a prerequisite for freedom. I mean, it's if and not liberty, say country wise. If you don't accept failure, you're gonna box yourself in.
Yes.
You're going to stunt your growth and stunt your ability to be a benefit to other people because you're shackling yourself and not willing to take steps, not willing to improve yourself, and it's that freedom that accepting failure and learning from it has.
Right. Okay, so in the failure chapter, Jarvis gives a great description of how to use this lever, but also how to improve at learning and growing in general. He says, as confidence and trust in your abilities and your system grow, so do your desire, comfort, and wisdom to take risks at the right time. When we improve at the fine art of running such experiments, we get better at failing and in turn become better at living. End quote. Learning Liberated helps us create systems that help our abilities to grow. This requires exploring and taking risks and making mistakes.
Right.
So how do you build confidence and trust in your abilities and systems?
For me, you have to do it. I mean, we've you find a pattern that works for you. You have your notebooks.
Right, I have a Growing Vista book.
You have your Growing Vista book, and you use
Learning
that.
Vista.
Learning Vista. Sorry. You have your method, and that
Right.
works for you.
Yeah.
I have my own methods that work, and they're probably not as organized as you are. Absolutely not.
No.
But they work for me. And learning from my failures, sometimes I have to adjust them. I have to do different things. But that's part of what it means to better yourself is you realize you find a system that works and you use it and you trust it and you keep moving forward with it. And when it's not quite adequate, you that's a failure. So you go back and you say, okay, what did I do wrong? How do I improve myself? And you go from there.
Right. Well, and I've got my Learning Vista book, but I use it in different ways.
Right.
So, it might be just going through and reading all of my stretching, or I might go through and I really like reading the learning claims because it feels good. It feels very empowering. But sometimes I will focus on just one Learning Vista and tweak it and make some edits or whatever, or revise it or make it more relevant to where I'm at right now. Right. So there's just a lot of ways. You create systems that you're able to use in different ways.
Right. Holy cow. Now you got me stumbling over my lips. Thanks for joining us in this discussion. Jarvis's levers of intuition, play, and failure are very helpful to understand when applying learning liberated principles. If you find other ideas in his book that you'd like to share with us, please do, and we can discuss those. Next time, we'll consider how another theory of learning and growth helps us understand learning liberated principles. And as always, if you have questions or comments, message us at learningliberated@gmail.com or on our Learning Liberated Facebook group with any questions or comments.
And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone else that might enjoy it as well.